Today, in this podcast, we will talk about communication. So, what is communication? Is speaking in English necessary for effective communication? So, this is today topic. We try to discuss and cover more to more point to make you understand what is basically meaning of communication. Because we can say there is a myth also. If you are speaking in English, means you are communicating. So that is not necessary because communication is different thing and speaking English is different thing. Okay, but let let me put my point so you can understand how this is effective or not. So communication is the process of exchanging information, ideas, thought or feeling between people through various modes such as speech, writing, gesture, and also sometimes our body behavior, because these are some ties by which we can communicate our message from us to other people. Just I am taking example. Suppose I am speaking in Hindi and my message is all conveyed to recipient or listener. So means that is also communication. The main aim of communication is to deliver your message to the receiver. Okay, so it involves a sender who transmits a message and a receiver who interprets it. Effective communication requires that the message is not only sent but also understood as intended by the sender. So if I am speaking in Punjabi and my whole message is delivering to the recipient or receiver, so that is also communication. So there are some facts which is required for the effective communication. Okay, so speaking in English is not necessary for the effective communication. Just listen this point. Okay, because you can communicate your message in any language. English is just language. Okay, so you can say this is a mode of communication also, as we can communicate our message in Hindi, Bhojpuri, Punjabi, whatever language you want to choose, you can choose. But if someone is saying if you are speaking in English, that is a requirement of effective communication, that is not okay. In any language, you can communicate your message effectively. English is just like a language. So the effectiveness of communication depend on the several factors, including, first one is clarity of the message. Whatever message you are delivering, that should be clear and loud. Okay, so how clearly message is expressed regardless of the language used. And whenever you are going to deliver message, firstly you have to understand the level of audience. Okay, so basically it's also depend the audience of level. What level of audience is. Suppose I am speaking English and most of the audience is not understanding my message or not listening to me, means this is a failure. This is not effective communication. So also is depend upon the audience. Third is not verbal. So sometimes body language, facial expression and tone of voice can convey meaning of words. Sometimes we are trying to deliver a message and we were unable to deliver through the language. So in such cases we can use our body language. Many times you have seen people are just talking, just blinking their eyes to convey their message, just waving their hand to express their message. So there are various types by which we can deliver our message. And also feedback is very important to understand how much you have communicated. Okay, though the responses from the receiver that indicates whether the message was understood correctly or not. Suppose I am giving a lecture of 50 minutes and at last I am getting a student just saying, sir, we did not understand anything, means that is a failure of message or that is failure of a communication. Because most of students have not understand what you have taught or what you have lectured. So this is some basic parameter by which you can measure communication. So effective communication can occur in any language as long as the participants share a common understanding of the language being used. In multilingual construct. Effective communication might require translation, interpretation, or use of lingua francis like English. But English itself is not an universal requirement for effective communication. So basically, there is a myth. If you are speaking English, then you are communicating. So that is not okay. Communication means your message should be delivered to the receiver.